Well, the bike is all loaded and ready to head to Ontario. Looks like I'm going to the moon with all the gear I got. But believe it or not, it's actually not that much. Tent and sleeping bag, bag of clothes and other assorted oddities and some food and normal stuff. Anyway, weather looks promising. Hopefully it's not going to decide to wash my bike on the way there. Hopefully the roads are good. And say goodbye to my dear wife for a couple of weeks. Wish she was coming. But just the way it is this time. Anyway, do some more stuff when I'm on the road. Bye. Well, here I am in McBride, and it rained for about 40 kilometers. I didn't bother to stop to put the rain gear on because there was enough blue sky up there that I thought it was going to get nice. Well, guess what? Now the rain's starting to catch up to me again. But I'm going to have a coffee and warm up a little wee bit and then decide whether I need to put the rain gear on or not. Hopefully things will be okay. Well, here I am in the entrance to Jasper Park. And the rain looks like it might be up ahead. And there's also some rain sneaking up to me from behind. So I guess the best thing to do is just trundle on and these mountains sure do look nice. They definitely look majestic. It's kind of nice to see these ones out of the clouds for a little while. The longest time coming into the park, everything was covered in cloud. Kind of nice to see some that are out in the open and showing themselves off. They really do look pretty. As far as critters in the park so far, all I've seen is 2 elk. Haven't seen any goats or sheep, no bears. But that doesn't mean I won't. Looks nice. The temperature has come up to a nice balmy 22 degrees. Kind of gotta like that. It's a whole lot better than the 13 degrees I was riding in and 12 degrees I was riding in for a good portion of the day. Gotta like those mountains. Just doesn't get any better than this. Well, I'm outside of past Edson and I pulled in here for gas because that's the last stop before Edmonton that I want to make. I want to be able to just ride right through Edmonton. And had a little bit of a shower. Now it's just a big thunderstorm and I don't know if I can outrun it or not. I did once. I can probably outrun it again. The wind's blowing 200 miles an hour and it's raining kind of hard. I don't know if I want to sit in here to throw the rain gear on or should I just try and outrun it. It seems to be slowing down. Maybe I'll just be brave and try and outrun it, because I don't really want to unpack that. Just to get my rain gear out, just to go drive for 10 miles and stop and take it off. So I think I'm just going to tough and bear it and see what happens. Anyway, carrying on. Well, I managed to get ahead of that thunderstorm. I decided, like a complete idiot, not to put the rain gear on. Take the time to do it. I figured I could get ahead of it, and I have managed to do that, but I don't know if you can see in my mirror or not, but there's a big black ugly chasing me. There's the storm that's coming. That's the one that's been chasing me all the way from Edmonton and before. I think probably all the way from Jasper. I've been in and out of that storm steady, and it's still heading this way. So I'm glad I'm at the hotel. There's the little hotel I'm at. The room is nice and clean. I think it's going to be quite comfortable for the night. And I'm not going out anywhere tonight. I'm going to stay tucked away because I really don't need that storm to come and visit me again. It's already done it several times. Well, day one was 862.7 kilometers. Yeah, it's the longest ride I've done this year. And nothing like starting out with a mega trip. And my knees are feeling it. The one that got replaced is not overly happy. And the other one that didn't get replaced is kind of sympathetic to it, so it's not overly happy either. But the shoulder that got replaced is doing really well. It's quite happy. The other one that's probably on the replacement list is letting me know that it has felt better at different times. So all in all, this old guy is feeling those miles and kilometers. However, by morning, I'm sure things will be good. I'm actually surprised that for riding on the stock seat, that I didn't really have more of a bottom problem. It actually wasn't too bad. I was starting to squirm around a little wee bit for probably the last 100 kilometers, 75 kilometers. I was starting to feel it a little bit. But I find getting off every 200k and I kind of doing a little bit of a walk around, a couple of stretches, definitely helps. I'm not as young as I was, and it definitely shows. But overall, I think the day went pretty good. Playing with thunderstorms all day, in and out. And I wasn't smart enough at any one of them to put my rain gear on, because I kept thinking I could outrun it, and because I could see nice blue sky ahead. And for the most part, I was successful in outrunning it and running right into the next one, at another 25 or 30k down the road. And but my gear held up well. I didn't really feel like I got drenched. So all in all, it wasn't all that bad. I'm not sure what the weather's going to be like tomorrow for my run to Saskatoon, but I guess I will find out. And if need be, maybe I will put the rain gear on. But actually, the leather jacket was good. The rain didn't soak through. The pants I'm wearing are pretty much aerated a little bit. So I did get that kind of cold trickle in the crotch there once or twice, but then I got back out to 22 degrees and didn't take very long to dry out. Overall, it wasn't all that bad. So we'll see what tomorrow brings. Here's what it all looks like right now. It looks kind of sunny that way. I'm hoping that that's the way I'm going, because it doesn't look very sunny out that way. But I guess it'll be what it'll be. Well, so far this morning, once again, I'm playing tag with the rain. So hopefully I can stay ahead of this stuff. I guess we'll just have to wait and see how it goes. I arrived at my sister's place here in Saskatoon, which is a condominium that is in an old converted warehouse. Turned it into some beautiful condos. And as you can see from the view of her place, Saskatoon, for being on the prairies, has certainly a lot of timber in it. Really, really pretty city once you move around the city a little bit. This is a map of Birdsill Park in Manitoba. It's north of Winnipeg. So if you're heading from the west
to Birdsill Park. You actually don't even have to go into the city of Winnipeg to get there, which I thought was really nice. This park is extremely nice. The campsites were absolutely huge and really, really well looked after. They do have a little store there where you can get groceries if you need be. You can get firewood, ice. It's really, really well laid out and actually really quite quiet. I really did enjoy my stay there, and I would highly recommend that anybody heading around through Winnipeg to certainly check that place out. Well, I just made my first gas stop out of Saskatoon, and I kind of pushed it a little bit. I drove past Foam Lake, and I made it 302 kilometers before the little light was coming on saying I was on reserve. So I was really, really fortunate to make it to this little gas station. It's just a little tiny town, and thank goodness they had a gas station here. Otherwise, I'd have been in trouble. I'd have been pushing it. I didn't think I was going to make it to Yorkton. So I made it here and got gas and a pop and a little piece of ice cream to chew on. And then an old farmer fella showed up, and I kind of talked to him for probably 45 minutes. He asked where I was going and whatnot, where I was from, and talked about the fact that I lived in Saskatchewan. And we had a discussion about moose hunting and deer hunting and fishing and farming, and it was a really neat conversation, and I just couldn't tell him that, sorry, I really got to get on the road. So I'm kind of a little bit behind the 8 ball here because I've lost some time. So my next couple of stops are going to be stop for gas and go. Well, here I sit by my fire. I've got camp set up. Unfortunately, I didn't take any video of me doing it because I got in late and hurried to get it done before it got dark. And as you can see, it's pretty darn dark. I don't know if you can see. No, probably can't even see my tent or the bike. You can see a little glint maybe off the bike. There's the fire. This is dinner tonight. And actually, it's not half bad. So basically, I'm just going to sit here and finish my dinner and enjoy a good shot of scotch. I've got everything else pretty much done. I'll sit around the fire for another half an hour or so, and then it'll be time to go to bed. I'll get up in the morning and I'll have some serious organizing to do because I've really moved stuff around. So to get everything packed back up the way it's supposed to be is going to take a while. But anyway, I did it and made it in. It was a long day. It was well over 800 kilometers today. So she was a push. But we made it, and you can enjoy a bit of a campfire. Well, here's my camp this morning at Birdsill Park in Manitoba. Just tomorrow I'll be in, or today I'll be in Sioux-Lookout, where I want to be. The campsite is actually quite nice. Big spot. It was quiet. Everybody settled down like they should last night. Nobody was making a bunch of noises. And all in all, it was really, really quite nice. We packed them appropriately. Last night, as I was looking for things and putting things away, I kind of re-scrambled my packing. So I'm definitely going to have to do some rework on that to get everything back where it should be. The tent was really comfortable last night. I slept really well.
And yeah, it was good. Beautiful blue sky this morning. Anyway, I'm going to make some breakfast and get at the program. And we'll get back on the road later. I've got the old stove working. This is breakfast. Breakfast skillet. Egg, sausage, potatoes, and peppers. Should be pretty good, I think. And some coffee. Looks like the water's starting to boil. Oh yeah, it's boiling. First thing is some coffee. Maybe not. Might need just a little bit more. Like that. We got the morning coffee going. Oops. Be good. Morning coffee. Breakfast. So anyway, yeah, gonna have breakfast. Start packing up. And hit the road again. Well, here I am at Moorn Lodge in Sulikote. This is my cousin's operation. It looks like it's going to be a beautiful day today. And the lake is just gorgeous. And lucky enough to get a cabin for a couple of days. I guess I'm going to have to move out here tomorrow, so I have some people coming in, but that's okay. But yeah, beautiful operation. Looks like a beautiful day. So really
here's the cabin I got to stay in for one full day. They had other people coming, so my accommodations had to change, but they went also first class. Here's pictures of the inside of the cabin. Really, really roomy. Bed was extremely comfortable. Very, very, very clean. And absolutely a first-class operation. It was extremely comfortable. And they have quite a few cabins there to rent and enjoy your stay. Here's a picture from the deck of the cabin, looking out at the lake and the dock, and overlooking the lake here. And you can see a beautiful spot for sure. They have a really, really nice dock here that since COVID was in effect, they took the opportunity to rebuild their dock and did a first-class job. And you can tie up quite a few boats, and they also rent boats, and they also have guides if you would choose to fish that way. And there's also a nice sandy beach where you can sit back around a fire in the evening and sip on a cold one and enjoy the sunsets. And here's a map of the different bodies of water that seem to be all interconnected, so you can go a very long ways with no problem. And there's some really big fish in the lake. This is the one my cousin's wife caught. And in fact, it was a world record for the biggest muskie. And beautiful fish. And you certainly would not want to have your fingers anywhere near that mouth. That would be extremely painful, I think. Big teeth on that bugger. And here's the boss of the boat. And he'll let you on board with the appropriate number of ear scratches and belly rubs. And because he is, after all, the boss. And he will let you know. And here is my accommodations for 10 days while my leg was healing up, and my cousin's houseboat. So the accommodations to go from the cabin to this was certainly no hardship whatsoever. Beautiful spot, beautiful boat, and it was a very, very nice stay, even with the infection in my leg. And of course, we have to have the mandatory sunset pictures, and this was one I took out from the back of the boat one night, and a lot of them were like that. The weather was gorgeous, and so were the sunsets. And here's me, my cousin, and I'm the guy with the really bright red leg on the left there. And the infection had set in on the trip, and I wound up going to the hospital for 10 days in a row to get IV fluids twice a day to try and get rid of it. And it was kind of a pain to have to stay that long to do it. I didn't want to impose on my cousin and his operation, but he insisted that I get it fixed before I started heading back west to British Columbia. And it was probably a good thing, because it took at least 10 days of intravenous twice a day to meds to try and get it to clear up. And it finally cleared up enough so that I could go. And here's the house my mom was born in way, way back when. The outside is original. The inside has been completely redone. Apparently it's just beautiful in there. So it's a really old house. And this house is one my mom and dad had actually built from a kit. And I lived in for quite a number of years when we lived here way, way, way back when. So all in all, it was kind of a nice visit. Here's another picture of the house. But yeah, it was a great visit to see all the old places and meet some of the people I hadn't seen. This is where my bike's been parked for the last week, waiting patiently for my leg to heal up so we can get back up on the road. At least it's undercovered and it's happy. It'll be happier on the road, but it'll do for now. And there's the houseboat. So basically that's where I've been staying for the last week and a little bit. And there's the lake, and across the lake, a little town you can maybe see is Sulikout. And it's about 5 miles from here. Doesn't take very long to run into town at all. The little dog you can hear barking maybe, that's little Jake. He's the boss of the camp. Just a little guy and cute as a button. But yeah, the cabins are really quite nice inside. It's all either uphill or downhill, good exercise. The building down there is where they keep ice. People clean their fish. You can see the boats they rent. And there's the houseboat. And right now they're taking the opportunity, since the COVID thing, they don't have a lot of tourists here, so they're taking the opportunity to rebuild their docks. I've managed to help a little bit with that, but not anywhere near as much as I'd like to. So yeah, there's the other boats they've got. And today the lake was really rough. It rained in the morning. And then it cleared up. We got some patches of blue. But yeah, they're a beautiful, beautiful beach. It's all sand. Absolutely gorgeous. So it turned out to be not too bad a day after all. To head back west tomorrow morning. It's been a long stay here with my leg infection, but it is finally on the mend enough that the doc says I can go home. So tomorrow morning, bright and early, the bike and I are going to be heading west and heading back home. Probably take 4 days to get home. Hopefully not too much longer than that, but I'm not going to push it too hard. And that's the game plan, is to just kind of take it easy and make sure I don't push it too hard. And yeah, head her back to home. And it's been a wonderful visit here, even though it wasn't really what I had planned. I'd planned about 3 days instead of over 2 weeks. But that's just the way things go sometimes. I guess that much makes it part of the adventure.
heading home. So far the weather's held. Supposed to be some rain in the forecast. Kind of black over to my left, but so far Mother Nature's been okay to me. It's 23 degrees, so it's not too terribly hot, and it's not too cold. Pretty much just the right temperature for riding. The road is good. Bike's running wonderfully. Traffic's not too heavy. A bit of traffic on this road, but it's not stupid. So far I'd have to say that the morning's been not too bad to this old fart. And trees and bush and lakes. Today we're going to go from that to the other side of Winnipeg, where you can watch your dog run away for 3 days. But that's just the nature of the country out here. Then you get to run through these rock cuts, which are pretty cool. The road's got enough curves to keep a guy entertained. I gotta watch my damn speed though, because the speed limit's only 90. And speeding tickets get expensive here. Looks like where there's some rain, with a little bit of luck, I'm going away from it. We'll see. I fully expect somewhere along this trip going home to get wet. Very seldom can you go 3,500 kilometers and not get wet. But as long as it wasn't like it was when I came, when I was dodging thunderstorms all bloody day long, well, I'll be happy with that. Wicker up a little bit here and get by this guy. Yeah, the other day it was bright sunshine and hot and humid. Yesterday it was 25 and felt like 34. A real muggy day. Today so far, the temperature's been holding it. Yeah, I think the lowest I saw this morning was 18. And then she came up to 20. Now it's at 23. So I just gotta like that. And of course, I had hoped to escape the rain on my ride west of Winnipeg, but that was just not to be the case. I had to run into a couple more showers. And once again, I never really bothered to stop and put the rain gear on, because if you look up ahead there, it looks like it's fairly bright up there, and I was really hoping that I would run out of this rain before long, because it wasn't really coming down that hard. And here I've left the rock cuts and the bush country and the lakes of Ontario behind me, and now I'm back in Manitoba, and as you can see, I'm back in farm country again. It has its own kind of beauty, that's for sure. Now my first stop on the way home was at Mi'kmaq. Here's the hotel I stayed at, or motel. It's not fancy, but it's pretty nice. There's the old bike park. She did good. Except, a gust of wind peeled that piece of fairing right off the bike. Pulled it right out of its rubber mounts. And gave me a rather abrupt lane and a half lane change. There's a thunderstorm I seen the trees laid down, and it just about blew me right off the road. It wasn't terribly pleasant, but at least I kept it between the ditches. And here is
a hotel room. It's not particularly super fancy, but it was a good price. And yeah, there's all my gear. I got stuff scattered all over the place. I got to do complete repacking. But it was a good price, and it's clean. And as I'm returning home through the prairies, the scenery has changed from the rocks of Ontario to the flatness of the prairies. But it has its own type of beauty. Now, as the ride progressed, the wind speed continued to pick up, and it was starting to blow extremely hard. And I noticed it was coming at me from the left-hand side, and it was getting to the point where it was blowing me kind of all over the place in my own lane at times. And I know a few of the cars that did pass me certainly gave me a funny look, as here this motorcycle is going down the road in a perfectly straight line. However, it's leaned over at about a 20-degree angle. And any riders that have ridden in such conditions know exactly what that feels like. At one point there, just to kind of take a break and walk around a little bit. And I parked the bike, of course, on the side stand, and I was standing on the right-hand side of the bike with the bike leaning towards the left into the wind. And a gust of wind hit it, and it was a good thing I was standing there because it stood the bike right up and it kind of wobbled and leaned against me. So had I not been standing there and not paying attention, I think I would have had a loaded FJR laying on its side on the side of the highway. As it was, I was going along nicely, and all of a sudden something hit me in the leg, and I saw something fly by in my mirror, and I wasn't sure what it was. I thought maybe it was a bird that hit me, or just wasn't really sure what had happened until I stopped and happened to take a look at the bike, and well, there it was. Another piece of the fairing was missing, same as the previous day. So now I had a piece of my fairing ripped off in both Manitoba and Saskatchewan. It happened on the way home. And the one thing that she did do is, as I was heading both directions, she made certain that I had a nice bag of freshly made cookies. So it was kind of nice to have those on the trip. And stop. I had a thermos of coffee with me, so every once in a while I'd pull over and stop and have a cup of coffee and a nicely fresh baked chocolate chip or whatever other kind of cookie it was that she made for me. And they were very good. Very nice lady, and like I said, it was a pleasant place to stay. And once again, heading on the road and looking like I'm heading into possible some more rain or thunderstorms or some more nasty weather. The temperature this morning was 9 degrees, so it was a little bit cool, but I guess not too terribly unusual for this time of year, I guess. We'll see how this ride goes today. So at least at the end of the day, I will be home.
Well, I'm just coming into Jasper, and look at all the nice snow. Nice fresh snow up on the mountains. And there's some more nice fresh snow up on the mountains. Holy Christmas tree. And it's 14 degrees here, and the wind's blowing. And it's cold. And I haven't had any rain, but the way the mountains look there, I wouldn't be surprised if I got some snow. Yeah, no wonder it's chilly. The wind's coming off the mountain, all that nice fresh stuff up there. Bird. And the wind is blowing. I figured maybe it would settle down in the mountains here, but it really hasn't yet. It's still howling pretty good. I was hoping when I came through here it would be a beautiful sunny day and 25 degrees. Really enjoyed the view. Instead, it's 14 degrees. And yeah, at least it's not raining yet. So I wasn't going to stop in Jasper for fuel, but I didn't really want to stop in Hinton because that was just too close. from my last stop. So I am going to stop in Jasper here for fuel and I think a hot coffee because I'm starting to feel a little bit chilly. Well, this video is about my 2020 trip to Ontario. And just like a lot of things in 2020, things didn't go quite as planned. I had been planning on going to Saskatoon to visit my sister, Sulikout to visit my cousin, and then I was going to tour around the northern part of Ontario a little bit and see some sights I hadn't seen for a long time, and possibly even take a detour down to Fort Frances, where I was born. However, like a lot of things in 2020, didn't quite go as planned. To start the trip, I had 3 days of wonderful thunderstorms and playing in and out of the rain, which is part of touring on a motorcycle, not a big deal. I couldn't camp in Alberta at all, which is what I had planned to do, and because I didn't want any campers from out of the province. So I wound up having to stay in a hotel the first night in Alberta, which wasn't a big deal. I found a very nice little hotel there, and it was quite a pleasant place. Then I managed to camp at Birdsill Park in Manitoba, which was a really nice campsite. The weather was good, the camping was great, everything worked just according to schedule there. And then I went on to Sulikout and visited my cousin, and that was great. I hadn't seen him in over 60 years. Hard to believe. Got a tour of Sulikout again and saw the house where my mum was born, still standing and looking just like it did way back when. The people that bought it have really maintained the outside of it in its original state, and apparently completely redone the inside. So that was great. And then things kind of started to go south a little bit. Somehow or other, I wound up with a major infection in my leg. My leg swelled up considerably. My knee was the size of a small balloon, and my leg turned nice beet red, and I wound up going to the hospital in Sulikout, and for 10 days I got IVs twice a day. And slowly it started to look a little better. And finally, after seeing an infectious disease specialist there, she decided that if I wore some compression stockings and went on to some oral antibiotics, I could come home. But I was supposed to take the most direct route home. She didn't really want me dallying and touring in northern Ontario because things could have gone wrong from there. So basically that's what I did. And then on the ride home, again I hit major thunderstorms, extremely high winds. It actually blew 2 pieces of my fairing right off the bike, one in Manitoba and one in Saskatchewan. The winds were so bad that apparently 2 semis were blowing completely off the road. So that was pretty tough, and a lot of rain. So basically I retraced my steps again instead of doing any further exploration, and again wound up staying at the same hotel in Vegreville that I did on my way out, and then once again visited my sister in Saskatoon, and then had a nice ride basically home from there through Jasper Park, where I was hoping it would be nice and clear to get lots of mountain view. It was cloudy, and I hooked up with another rider, which was kind of nice, and I managed to we managed to ride together all the way home to Prince George. So that was actually pretty good. The bike ran good. The only other issue I had was with my coming home with my leg swollen as it was, and my knee not really wanting to bend, and my ankle really not wanting to bend. I was having a great deal of difficulty doing upshifts. Downshifts, no problem. Upshifts, I couldn't quite get my foot to bend to go underneath the gear shift the way I wanted to. So I wound up having to do a little ingenuity there, and in Neepawa, Manitoba, where I stopped for the first night after I left Sulikout, I went to a hardware store and got a piece of copper pipe that slid over top of the gear shift and some good old Gorilla tape, and I extended the gear shift by about 4 inches,
and taped that on, and after that I managed to fairly easily get my foot underneath it to do the shifting, because up until that point I'd been actually using my heel and putting it over top of the shifter and then lifting up that way, and it made for some really sloppy upshifts. So thankfully after that it corrected the problem, and it all worked well from there. So then I got home and I once again went back to the dock, and they actually cut my leg open and squeezed a whole bunch of icky stuff out, and then back again on antibiotics. And so far it's been 3 weeks now, and it's still slowly healing up, but it's coming. So things aren't too bad. But all in all, it was one of those deals where, you know, you plan a motorcycle trip and you're hoping that things will go as planned. And like a lot of other things in life and a lot of things in 2020, it certainly didn't go that way, but I made the most of it, and it turned out to be still a fairly good trip. I thoroughly enjoyed my time with my cousin.